What's up, y'all? Peace and love. Welcome to Mo True TV, where we sit back and witness the fall and destruction of Babylon America. So black people are still being distracted by these Illuminati Zionist rappers as the world is crumbling into wars and rumors of wars, as the world is preparing for the great fights between good and evil. Kendrick Lamar dropped a diss track about Drake that has the entire black community distracted and entertained and oohing and ahhing about some rap beef. The Illuminati Zionist music executives is activating all of their top puppets to stir up chaos, to keep the dumb black person distracted with buffoonery and coonery and not paying attention to the true events of the world that will shape our future, such as the fall of Esau's reign. And after Esau fall, the house of Jacob will be the beginning of the next world. 2nd Ezra 6:9 says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." Esau's rulership of earth is coming to an end, and he is lashing out in fury as he tries to stop the inevitable outcome. Everything that's happening on earth revolves around the black man in America, the true children of Israel, and his deliverance from the land of his captivity, which is America. So the Illuminati Zionists is doing everything that they can to keep black people dumbed down, distracted, and looking in every direction except reality, so they can remain cursed and down at the bottom of society and cut off. So the other day, the Russian state TV has threatened to nuke America, Britain, and France if they send NATO troops into Ukraine to defeat Russia. Let's take a look at this video.
If NATO countries deploy their forces to Ukraine in order to deal strategic defeat to Russia, then that very moment will come of which Putin has spoken. Why do we need a world of Russia's not in it? In that case, we'll send everything flying everywhere. Sarmat, Yars, and avant-garde missiles. American decision-making centers and launch sites on land and sea are already in our crosshairs. France, as a nuclear power, will have to be disarmed in an instant. The British Isles will simply go underwater. We have the technologies for this, and we've spoken about them before. But it would be better not to take things that far. And this isn't propaganda.
Now let's read Jeremiah 50. "A nation from the north will attack her and lay waste her land. No one will live in it. Both people and animals will flee away. In those days and in that time, says the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together. With continual weeping they shall come and seek the Lord their God." After the nation of the north, which is Russia, destroys Babylon, America with nuclear weapons, then the children of Israel and the children of Judah, which is the black and native and Afro-Latino man who survives the nuclear blast, they will come together, crying and uniting to try to find our way to Zion. Zion is another word for the land of Israel. Jeremiah 50 verse 9, "For I will stir up and bring against Babylon an alliance of great nations from the land of the north. They will take up their positions against her, and from the north she will be captured. Their arrows will be like skilled warriors who do not return empty-handed." That alliance of great nations from the north is Russia, Belarus, who, by the way, now has dozens of nukes, and they said that they will respond with an instant response if any NATO troops enter Belarusian soil. North Korea, China, and Iran. So we see the Russian state TV is giving Babylon, America, France, and Britain another warning. Leave us alone or we will bring upon Jeremiah 50 upon you. So my brothers and sisters, let's continue to prepare and stock up on survival needs and survival food, and we have to be prepared to flee America ASAP. Jeremiah 58 says, "Flee out of Babylon, leave the land of the Babylonians, and be like the goats that lead the flock." So we're going to have to be like the goats that lead the flock, meaning that we will have to lead our families up out of Babylon, America, as we wander the wilderness away from the nuclear radiated destroyed cities. Jeremiah 51:6, "Flee from Babylon, Run for your lives. Do not be destroyed because of her sins. It is time for the Lord's vengeance. He will repay her what she deserves. America, France, and Britain are the most evil nations on earth, and they deserve to be destroyed so the rest of the earth can live in peace. Look at this map. The whole entire earth recognizes Palestine as a country except the evil descendants of Britain, which is America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and France. There is something evil and wicked about the blood of the Anglo-Saxons. They descend from Gog and Magog. This is why Britain has statues of Gog and Magog in their guild hall.
Every year, London holds a parade called the Lord Mayor's Show, where they display two giant graven images of Gog and Magog. Gog and Magog are considered the guardians of the city of London. Now it makes sense why Britain is the most evil nation on earth, and their descendants, such as America, are evil nations as well that are bloodthirsty and war-hungry and love to invade lands, killing everybody in their path.
American college students are under attack by Israel. For the past week, college campuses around America have been having peaceful encampments and protests against the genocide in Gaza. First, it started with Columbia University in New York City, and then it spread all over to other colleges around the country. Netanyahu, a foreign leader of a foreign country, gave a speech last week telling the U.S. government to not allow college students to express their First Amendment rights, which is the freedom of speech and freedom of assembly.
What's happening on America's college campuses is horrific. Anti-Semitic mobs have taken over leading universities. They call for the annihilation of Israel. They attack Jewish students. They attack Jewish faculty. This is reminiscent of what happened in German universities in the 1930s. It's unconscionable. It has to be stopped. It has to be condemned, and condemned unequivocally. We've seen in history that anti-Semitic attacks were always preceded by vilification and slander. Lies that were cast against the Jewish people that are unbelievable, yet people believed them. And what is important now is for all of us who are interested and cherish our values and our civilization, to stand up together and to say enough is enough. We have to stop anti-Semitism, because anti-Semitism is the canary in the coal mine. It always precedes larger conflagrations that engulf the entire world. What's happening on America's college campuses is horrific.
This man is committing a whole genocide in Palestine, but is mad at peaceful protests in America? We are extremely proud of those kids for being on the right side of history. 30,000 women and children.
Lines of the Netanyahu government. And Netanyahu himself gave a talk from his office condemning free speech in America. Did Biden object? No. Did Blinken object? No. Did Vice President Harris object? No. No American government official challenged Netanyahu's efforts to interfere in American domestic politics, complaining about too much free speech on college campuses. I mean, could you imagine if Vladimir Putin said there was too much free speech on college campuses? The Republicans in the Congress would be jumping down his throat.
Anti-Semitic mobs have taken over leading universities. They call for the annihilation of Israel.
Oh, Mr. Netanyahu, it is not anti-Semitic or pro-Hamas to point out that in a little over 6 months, your extremist government has killed 34,000 Palestinians and wounded more than 78,000, 70% of whom are women and children. It is not anti-Semitic to point out that your bombing has completely destroyed more than 221,000 housing units in Gaza, leaving more than 1 million people homeless, almost half the population. It is not anti-Semitic to note that your government has obliterated Gaza's civilian infrastructure, electricity, water, and sewage. It is not anti-Semitic to realize that your government has annihilated Gaza's healthcare system, knocking 26 hospitals out of service and killing more than 400 healthcare workers. It is not anti-Semitic to condemn your government's destruction of all of Gaza's 12 universities and 56 of its schools, with hundreds more damage, leaving 625,000 students with no educational opportunities. It is not anti-Semitic to agree with virtually every humanitarian organization in saying that your government, in violation of American law, has unreasonably blocked humanitarian aid coming into Gaza, creating the conditions in which so many thousands of children face malnutrition and famine. Mr. Netanyahu, anti-Semitism is a vile and disgusting form of bigotry that has done unspeakable harm to many millions of people. But please, do not insult the intelligence of the American people by attempting to distract us from the immoral and illegal war policies of your extremist and racist government. Do not use anti-Semitism to deflect attention from the criminal indictment you are facing in the Israeli courts. It is not anti-Semitic to hold you accountable for your actions.
A foreign terrorist president has the power to remove the First Amendment rights of Americans. Let that sink in. A foreign terrorist president, a rogue regime such as Israel, has the power to remove the First Amendment rights of Americans. The true president of America is not Joe Biden. The true president is Benjamin Netanyahu, Satan Yahoo. Joe Biden is subservient to Israel. All of America's government is subservient to Israel because Israel has blackmail on them. Israel has them on Epstein Island having sex with little babies and eating babies and doing all kind of child sacrifice on the Epstein Island. That's why all these American politicians, they serve and submit to Israel because Israel has blackmail on them. Also, Israel knows that the true children of Israel are black people in America. So in order for Israel to keep this secret, they extort America. This is no longer the United States of America. We are living in the United States of Israel. What we are witnessing is America transfer its power of earth and passing the torch to Israel. Just like the Roman Empire passed the torch to the British Empire passed the torch to America, and now America is passing that torch to Israel. And Israel is preparing the world to be ruled by the Antichrist, the Jaw. Ever since Netanyahu gave orders to the U.S. government to crack down on college students protesting, we have seen American police full of anger and hate and fury, arresting students, beating students violently, spraying pepper spray and tear gas into the crowds, and walking around with military guns and snipers on the roof. They brought out military guns and snipers for American college students. This is how serious the U.S. government serves Israel.
Now, fortunately, state, local, federal officials, many of them have responded differently, but there has to be more. More has to be done.
Four students sitting in at the store's all-white lunch counter spread to 64 cities.
You're upset about a rock going through a glass window.
But you're not upset about people dying in Vietnam.
We've got to get some order back. The students have overstepped bounds.
Leave this area immediately.
Are we ready to keep going?
Will be arrested and charged with trespass.
What the fuck are you doing?
We're being occupied by radical Islamist theology.
Anti-Semitic mobs have taken over leading universities.
When you are arrested, dragged down, zip tied, that is what being unsafe is.
Students pitching tents, spreading on college campuses.
They will make all possible steps and policies to say that you are wrong.
These laws and these systems were not made for people who look like us.
They rather kill and imprison their own students so that Israel can continue their genocide in Gaza and complete the task of summoning up the Antichrist. We are truly living in the beginning stages of the war between good and evil. The good side is Islam, the evil side is Zionist. The good side is Palestine, the evil side is Israel. The false state of Israel. Zionist is a modern term for Satanists. Let me repeat that. Zionist is a modern term for Satanists. You see, these evil, wicked people can't come out and proclaim to be Satanists outright. So they use the word Zionist to proclaim their love and devotion to Shaitan.
Revelations 2 verse 9. I know your works, tribulation, and poverty, but you are rich, and I know the blasphemy of those who say they are Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. Revelations 3 verse 9. Indeed, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan, who say they are Jews and are not, but lie. Indeed, I will make them come and worship before your feet, and to know that I have loved you.
The Zionists are the synagogue of Satan, the servants of Satan. Yesterday in UCLA, college students held a peaceful protest and encampment on the campus, and suddenly an angry pro-Israel mob attacked these students for hours, and there is no police to stop it.
Hit a yellow, fuck him up! We're fine. Hey, get back. Hold on, let it go.
Why did the city of LA, which is controlled by the latter J Zionists, Why did they tell the police to stand down while the pro-Israel mob attacked pro-Palestine students? That's because most of the pro-Israel mob that did the attack were off-duty police officers. We must understand that white police in America are some of the most evil people on earth. In order to be an American police officer, you have to be an extremely evil, wicked, corrupt person. Police departments only hire evil people. So when they need the police to perform evil acts, they will do it with no hesitation. This is why you see most police officers, they have a very evil, demonic, angry look on their face. Let's look at this clip right here.
Let them pray! 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 Let them pray!
We see Muslim students are praying, and we see the evil satanic police officers are thirsty and desperate to arrest students that are praying. They are trying to arrest students that are praying to God. This is proof that these are the synagogue of Shaitan. And we had these college students forming a barrier around these praying students to protect them from the evil police. Let's look at this other clip right here. We have more satanic Zionists in Israel attacking a food truck that was delivering aid to the starving people in Gaza. These demons are taking flour off the truck and throwing it on the ground to prevent the people of Gaza from getting food and aid. This is how evil these people are. You have to be a super kind of evil to stop hungry people from eating.
What are you doing?
You're being recorded right now. We're recording you taking off her scarf. You're violating her privacy. They took it off.
So she can wear a hood, but not her hijab?
Give it back!
All over the internet, we are seeing more and more clear evidence of Zionists really being Satanists. Remember this statement. Zionists are Satanists. This is why we constantly see them angry. We constantly see them doing evil actions. We constantly see them cussing with vulgar language. We constantly see them as violent and unhinged. We constantly see them thirsty for blood and death and war. Whereas when we look on the good side, which is Islam and Palestine and pro-Palestinian supporters, they are calm, peaceful, and helpful and full of prayers. The contrast is made clear for all to see. With all that being said, there will be a mass conversion of young white Americans under the age of 25 into Islam. Really, in all Western nations, there will be a mass conversion of young white people into Islam. That is prophecy. The son of Islam will rise from the West. That is the Zionists' greatest fear. And every day, Zionists are pushing young people away from them and allowing them to see Islam is the true path. Ever since October 7th, the conversion rate to Islam is up 400% in Europe. This trend will continue. The disbelievers plan, but Allah plans too, and Allah is the best of planners. Let's read the Quran, Surah 61, Ayah 8. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahi ar-Rahmanir Rahim. They wish to extinguish Allah's light with their mouths, but Allah will certainly perfect His light, even to the dismay of the disbelievers. The disbelievers, they hate the fact that Allah's light is being perfected, but it will happen, whether they like it or not. So my college students out there, you are the future of America. If there is a future here, which I doubt, but I could be wrong. Nevertheless, you are the future. The older generation are rotten and stuck in their wicked ways. Many of these old racist evil folks will be dead soon in the next 5 to 10 years. The future is yours to deal with. You are the generation that has to deal with this mess from these old evil Zionists. So do not give up on a peaceful protest. Do not let Shaitan and his followers win. Shaitan never takes a day off from corrupting mankind, so you all cannot take a day off. Continue to stand for Palestine, even if it takes us 20 years. Continue to apply tremendous pressure. Continue to let your voice be heard. Do not be intimidated by the Zionists. Do not be intimidated by the agents of Shaitan. Shaitan will continue to attack and attack. Zionists will continue to attack and attack. We are in this for the long haul. We are in this for the long term. This is our future. This is our reality. Our reality is dedicated to dismantling and destroying Zionists for however long it takes until the last old demonic warmonger dies. We are on the right side of history. When they write history books 50 years from now, we will be on the right side of history while we shame all these old, evil, wicked Zionists. There is something wrong with old white people. Not all of them, but y'all know which ones I'm talking about. We cannot follow their footsteps. We have to wait for them to die off and we replace them with good, peaceful, righteous people. Continue to use your voice and your presence and stay united, and do not let the enemy divide you and scare you. Do not let these evil, rotten police officers divide you and scare you. Do not let the government divide you and scare you and threaten you and bully you with jail time. Even if we have to let everything burn down during this great shift, we will rebuild from the ashes. The great shift is happening. The Zionists are desperate to stop it. The Zionists are desperate to summon up the Antichrist. But at the end of the day, good will win. Good will prevail. Light will shine through the darkness. Allah, the Most High, will reign supreme over the hand of Shaitan. Islam, the religion of peace, will reign supreme over the earth. Esau will be the end of the earth. His empire will fall, and the house of Jacob will be the beginning of the world that comes next. I'm out, y'all. I want y'all to go ahead, press like and subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss out on my future videos as we sit back and witness the fall and destruction of Babylon.